It was a record 24 million people watched the Republican debate on Fox News Channel last night. Now, that is the highest rated ever for a primary debate. It was also the biggest viewership in the history of Fox's cable channel. Today in our 4x4, we are taking 4 minutes at 4 o'clock to take a deeper look at the takeaways from last night's debate. Mike is here with our political analyst, Brian Sobel, and Donnie Fowler. Guys, you got to start with Donald Trump.
Why not? I mean, right off the bat, gentlemen, he hints third-party run. The crowd was kind of booing him a little bit on that. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul was definitely attacking him on that. Do you think Trump got off on the wrong foot right off the bat? Donnie, we'll start with you.
Trump did exactly what he needed to do. He needed to challenge the establishment. He needed to push back at the mainstream media and all the candidates who've been around politics for too long. He did that last night.
Brian?
I think he turned in the performance he wanted to. He comes off as the everyday person with anger at government and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, I view Donald Trump as a shooting star. He's a sideshow, but for right now, he's very important in the debate.
Because he's loosening his tie, he's taking off the coat, he's being more honest. I mean, what about his temperament last night? I mean,
angry. Arrogant at times, defensive. He was all of those things.
But he was also tapping into a segment of the Republican electorate that is frustrated at Washington, D.C., that's frustrated at the Republican Party's national leadership, and that's why he's in first place. There are real voters out there who support him for reasons that they're very sincere about.
I talk about his temperament because when he was talking about the failure of securing the U.S. border, he said the American government is stupid, we have stupid leaders. Him and Megyn Kelly went at it, Chris Wallace as well. Just that tone, is it going to resonate with the Americans?
Well, right now it will.
It will.
But you have to go back and look at other people who have been in his place. Ross Perot comes to mind. 92. Ross Perot, just open up the hood and tune up the engine. And he kept shooting himself in the foot until he finally dropped out of the race before jumping back in. My belief here is that over time, Donald Trump will end up either leaving the race or just fading.
All right, let's move on from Trump. Last night we asked you guys to kind of keep an ear open for something that caught your ear. When terrorism came up, when protecting America, Brian, you said that caught your ear, specifically the collection of America's phone data. There was a definite spiff between Chris Christie and Rand Paul. Let's let the viewers listen in a little bit on this conversation.
I'm the only person on this stage who's actually filed applications under the Patriot Act, who have gone before the federal, the Foreign Intelligence Service Court, who has prosecuted and investigated and jailed terrorists in this country after September 11th.
I want to collect more records from terrorists, but less records from innocent Americans. The Fourth Amendment was what we fought the revolution over. John Adams said it was the spark that led to our war for independence. And I'm proud of standing for the Bill of Rights, and I will continue to stand for the Bill of Rights.
When you're sitting in a subcommittee just blowing hot air about this, you can say things like that. When you're responsible for protecting the lives of the American people, then what you need to do is to make sure that you use the system the way it's supposed to work.
I don't trust President Obama with our records. I know you gave him a big hug, and if you want to give him a big hug again, go right ahead.
God. Moment of the night for you?
I thought it was very interesting because it actually at that point sounded like a debate. You know, these are Q&As or forums, but this is where you saw two people actually getting into a dust-up, and it's where Chris Christie's at his best. He's very good in these kinds of situations, and I thought he did a great job.
Donnie, what did you think of that moment between, who do you think won that little debate?
There was a lot of hugging. I think they both won.
There was a lot of hugging. All right, you had a couple moments, but one of them was regarding Scott Walker. He hit Hillary Clinton a couple times, but he was asked when he ran for governor of Wisconsin back in 2010 that he promised 250,000 jobs. Well, the moderator said, where are those jobs? Listen here on this piece of tape.
Before I came in, the unemployment rate was over 8%. It's now down to 4.6%. We've more than made up for the jobs that were lost during the recession. And the rate in which people are working is almost 5 points higher than it is nationally. You know, people like Hillary Clinton think you grow the economy by growing Washington. One report last year showed that 6 of the top 10 wealthiest counties in America were in or around Washington, D.C. I think most of us in America understand that people, not the government, creates jobs. And one of the best things we can do is get the government out of the way, repeal Obamacare, rein in all the out-of-control regulations, put in place an all-the-above energy policy, get people the education and skills that they need to succeed, and lower the tax rate and reform the tax code. That's what I'll do as president, just like I did in Wisconsin.
Donnie, you like that response?
I do like the response, but what it reflects more largely is a debate within the debates last night, and that is governors and some of the senators who are running on their record. Now, the governors in particular, the new ones, like Walker from Wisconsin, want to say, and Christie from New Jersey, want to say, the economy's gotten a lot better when I was governor. But at the same time, they want to attack and bring down Obama's economic record. And they're going to have a really difficult time because, A, they haven't met their expectations, like Walker didn't produce 250,000 jobs, but B, they can't take all the credit and say Obama's destroying the U.S. economy.
Let me ask you guys this. I thought another little debate within this debate was the battle for Florida. You had Senator Rubio, you had the former governor there, Bush. Who do you think won that battle? Because it is a big one. These two guys don't like each other, and I think when they started talking about the Common Core standards, we saw it really heat up there.
Well, I think at the end of the night, if you judge them head to head, I thought Rubio did a better job on substance and content than Bush did. In fact, I thought Bush looked rusty. He's been off the campaign trail for a lot of years, and I didn't think he answered very well. Hit by the bell over and over again because he couldn't complete his thoughts.
Bush actually looked very presidential.
He thought he looked presidential?
I thought he looked presidential. He looked comfortable. He looked in command. He might have stuttered every once in a while, but he really has a record that goes back many, many years. He is more comfortable in these situations than the younger candidates like Rubio and Walker. So Bush is leading in the polls in Florida against his fellow states.
He's leading in money, too.
He's leading in money.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a draw last night between the two Floridians, but Bush has the advantage.
Okay.
And Bush looked more presidential.
I'm getting wrapped almost. I want to, immigration, it seems like everyone wants to build a fence. Climate change, I didn't hear a peep, right?
Nobody talked about climate change.
Surprised on that?
No, not really.
Not really?
No, not surprised.
Who do you think won the debate?
I thought Rick Perry and Carly Fiorina in the early debate, and I thought George Bush and Ted Cruz in the later debate.
I thought Marco Rubio had the best content. I don't think anybody really won the debate. There wasn't enough time to see who could emerge.
Well, the other number that popped out in this debate was the 24 million people who watched it. To me, it gets a sense that America wants change and is interested in these candidates.
And this is the first inning of a very long game we're playing.
Absolutely.
It was a great one to see.
Absolutely, and it's great to see that many people interested in the process.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I agree. Donnie Fowler, Brian Sobel, thanks for taking the time for the conversation. We will see you probably back here very soon. All right.